must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Today, thousands and thousands of Africans and many countries in Africa have conflicts. Notably, from Libya, Cameroon, Nigeria, Biafra, and Boko Haram, to Democratic Republic of Congo, of where we have seen a resurgence of the past military and conflicts coming back in that country. Hundreds and hundreds of people have been displaced, killed, maimed, tortured, raped, several of them dying of hunger, starvation, and other natural causes. The fighting seems not to be ending. For the sake of Libya, the Libyan recognized international government is under siege in Tripoli from another faction recognized by Egypt, France, UAE, and other countries. Whereas the one in Tripoli is recognized by the UN, it has been bombarded, has been strangulated, and many millions of Libyans are dying of hunger, lack of water. The water system has been cut off. The bombardment goes on.
Good morning, viewers. Thank you very much sorry for the delay because of technical hitches, but good morning. We can catch up with time, an extra 20 minutes at the top of the hour. Good morning, viewers across the continent of Africa. Thank you very much for watching Punchline Africa. This is Diplomatic Leaks, show that looks at what is happening in the region, what is taking place in the region, the terror activities that are on the high, on the increase, perpetuated by homegrown terrorism. This morning, I will go into the subject straight away and discuss what is called popular intelligence. Popular intelligence will be explained to you. Good morning, my panel, Miriam in Nairobi. Good morning.
A very good morning to you, Doc, and a very good morning to the rest of our viewers.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Sharon Gitonga.
Good morning to Dr. Matsanga, my colleague Daniel Osonga, and Miriam, and to all our viewers are watching us, whether it's their morning, afternoon, or evening. Good morning.
Thank you very much, viewers. Thank you very much, all of you. Good morning, Daniel Osonga.
Yes, very, very good morning, Dr. Matsanga David at our Political Command Center. Good morning to Miriam Ogutu at our headquarters in Nairobi. Good morning to my sister Sharon Gitonga and our viewers here in Kenya, Africa, and the rest of the globe.
Thank you very much, viewers. This is a show that looks behind the enemy, that looks behind diplomatic efforts. As we speak this morning, I think Miriam has already told you on the show, we have the United States of America Secretary of State who is in Kenya on a 3-day official visit to Sub-Saharan Africa, where he will travel from Kenya to Nigeria and Senegal on his way back to the United States. What are the challenges that this region faces? I will begin, Fred, by saying the same. Then in a few minutes, about 10 minutes, Miriam will be bringing us the detailed programs of what it is to have the popular vigilance, popular intelligence gathering systems that will actually make Africa safe. Okay. Across the continent of Africa, several institutions, several countries face challenges. Challenges coming from homegrown terror groups that have been influenced, radicalized by Islamists who roam around the continent of Africa to kill, maim, and subdue the people of Africa into slavery and to hardships, into murder, slaughter, torture, destruction of property. The whole of Sahel region across Africa is full of terrorists. Before the killing of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011, which we know very well about, before the collapse of Libya, Muammar Gaddafi had controlled some of these terrorists in Al-Qaeda Maghreb cells. The spread of terrorism in the Sahel region, Central African Africa region, DRC Congo, Sudan, South Sudan, Eritrea, Ethiopia, now, and Somalia, poses a threat to the people of Africa. It is therefore very important for the people of Africa to understand why these homegrown, some of them, terror groups are operating. Yesterday, terror groups struck Uganda, bringing mayhem on the streets of the Republic of Uganda in Kampala. 6 people died and several, over 36 people injured, as from the official statements of the government of the Republic of Uganda. These groups are not acting alone. These groups act with very external, well-organized terror groups that have claimed responsibility. The ISIS. The creation of ISIS through Syria created a problem for us that we see today on African continent. As usual, African continent has always been a receiving end of some of these difficulties that are not ours. ISIS was created in Syria during the Obama administration to fight President of Syria to remove a regime in Syria. The armed ISIS, the armed terrorists across the globe to turn in on President Assad of Syria, which failed. The intervention of Russia in that crisis, therefore, made it difficult for the ISIS to conquer, to take over Syria. Since then, ISIS has spread across the continent of Africa. Some have gone to other places in Iraq, some are in Somalia, with their main cells still remaining intact to create mayhem. As you know, the wars of Africa are not our wars. We don't make them. The creation of ISIS is not our making. The ISIS found us peaceful. Here we are. The creation of Somalia east of Kenya is not our making. 1991, Somalia fell to chaos. The United States of America left us with our responsibility to look and safeguard to pacify Somalia. We have struggled and struggled. The 2 countries, Uganda, Kenya, Burundi, and Ethiopia, have suffered heavy losses in terms of material, finance, and diplomatic efforts. Several things have taken shape back in those countries as the countries face the Al-Shabaab and the other insurgencies of ISIS that are spread across Somalia. East of Uganda, there lies unknown groups that keep on coming to attack and create mayhem. Several groups in Democratic Republic of Congo lined up from M23, which is now very active in Congo, ADF, which is very active in Congo, and the ISIS cell, which is available in Congo. These groups pose a threat to the national security of the region and the entire region of Africa. Across the Chad Basin, in Cameroon, the tropics of Cameroon, and across Chad, you find another group of terrible ISIS operating there called Boko Haram. All these groups pose a threat to our security and the security of this nation. They pose a threat to civilian security. It is not the responsibility of only the governments. It is the responsibility of the people that inhabit those countries, the entire Africa, the entire region, the entire people of Uganda, the entire people of Kenya, the entire people of Sudan, Tanzania, everywhere, wherever you are, to create a popular intelligence system. An intelligence system that will look at who is coming in, where is he, what is he going to do, what is he doing, when will he do it, why is it very strange. Most of us in Africa have developed a very bad habit that when it is happening to some of us or to someone else, it's not your problem. But when it comes to you, it becomes your problem. You want others to help, but we don't help others. Africa has become a problem of not popular intelligence, but a problem of anti-intelligence, popular intelligence. The government in Uganda, the government in Kenya, the governments across Africa have been crying and telling their nationals, the citizens of these countries, that please try to find out, to notify the police. For example, the escape of prisoners from the Kenyan maximum prison. Someone knows about that. Someone in the prison knows. Someone took money and allowed these prisoners to live. It's the maximum prison that was built. Surely you tell me a concrete was being dug 24 throughout our surveillance in a cell of any terrorist, which is done in prison. Surely, where was the wire cut? How did they jump all that electric power voltage to disappear? The reason why we need popular intelligence is for the people, the populace, to become very popular. The populace to become popular in order to find out the loopholes that the administrations across Africa might not have sealed. Anybody approaching you in any village, any town, any restaurant, any hotel, asking you, where is this? What is this? Where is the nightclub? When it is daytime, you knowing very well that a nightclub at night, during daytime in Kenya, they don't work. Pick up a phone and tell the police. One of the problems we have is that we don't pick up the police. We don't pick up the phones and tell the police. Because most of the people in Africa fear. Police will ask you, how did you know? And these are some of the obstacles, why we bring this type of programs and why we want them to be on tape for both the government and the population to understand that popular intelligence could be very useful for the countries where there is national established intelligence systems. National intelligence systems help to get raw material raw intelligence from the popular initiative of the vigilantes of the Nyumba Kumi, of LC1, LC2, LC3. Why are we sleeping on duty then as a population? Uganda has all these systems. Is it bad habit that is creeping amongst us? Is it hatred that is creeping amongst us that you don't know? That you saw your neighbor carrying a pipe when he hasn't got any drainage system? Why don't you be cautious? If your neighbor is carrying a pipe which is used to make improvised systems that go under kill, you must be cautious to say, but there is no pipe, there is no drainage here. Why is my neighbor carrying a pipe? If your neighbor is buying 200 loaves and he has been eating half a loaf, he's only 2 people in the house, or 1, and he has bought 200 loaves. A lorry is offloading, or a car is offloading 200 loaves of bread. Are you not suspicious? Can't you be suspicious? That where are these loaves going? Maybe there are people inside who are eating these loaves. That's what we call popular intelligence systems. To popularize yourself, population. Use the population to find out about what is happening. Systems in countries where we have grown, some of us have lived for over 30 years. We are all spied on. We are all looked at. We are all part and a parcel of the spy ring. In all those systems, in London, you walk and you see somebody acting, pulling his cap down here. He doesn't want you to see. An old woman will step out of the bus and stand there. I say bus number 1, 2, 2, 3, 4 on this route going down. There is a man, black and white. You are allowed to make an anonymous call that will reach the police. And the police in London will act quickly to find out where that bus is. They will find the location. What are the obstacles that the police in Kenya find? The obstacles that the police in Uganda find? The obstacles. We introduced the CCTV. Viewers, you will know that the CCTVs were introduced in Kenya and Uganda later on. They work. Since the introduction of CCTVs, they have helped in removing crime like robbery, carjackings, and muggings that were taking place. Because you are seeing in the central district of Kenya, if you are in Nairobi, you will be seen doing something. But the problem is that the terrorists don't come in the format that you might expect. They go to hotels, they swim around big hotels. Most of these people who are doing these activities, and I want to be very candid, they are in big hotels. Some of the big hotels, I don't want to mention the name, but some of these big hotels in Kenya, I must sound a warning. You find a group of people who are making noise, who are seated there from morning making noise, taking photographs anywhere at all corners of the hotel with their girlfriends or whatever, their friends or whatever. But they are not buying food. Doesn't it cause you a suspicion as a general manager of the hotel that indeed this type of crop of people who are coming, sitting in the hotel, making noise to other customers, they are coming to your swimming pool. They are not members. They want to swim. They want to sit at the swimming pool. That influx of people, where are they coming from? And these are the truth which is taking place in some of these hotels of ours. The big hotels around here, they have laxed security. Security has been laxed. The laxity of security, therefore, Miriam, will cause you don't know who is who. If you are sitting in a hotel, occupying a table, a hotel that where a cup of tea costs 500 shillings or 300 shillings.
We seem to have lost your audio there. We seem to have lost Dr. Matsanga. We've suffered a bit of a technical hitch from his part. So once he's able to come back and continue with this submission. All right, we seem to have lost him, but once he's able to come back, I'll bring him in. But so far, I think Dr. Matsanga has raised a very important questions and queries that perhaps I should be interrogated further. And a couple of things that Dr. Matsanga has said, the popular intelligence system, I think much of it involves, having engagement with the general public and making them be part of whatever it is that the government is doing in terms of security, create that awareness so that they know they do have a part in this, and they do have a part in ensuring that they are safe. And if there's any information that should be passed to the security apparatus, then that should be done. Doc, I see you back. Sorry, we lost you there. And so you can continue, and then we'll come back to the conversation with the rest of the panelists.
Miriam, I am wondering why I was lost.
It happens. Technology sometimes can be funny, but we're back now.
But because I'm hitting the right points.
Very important point. So you continue.
Yes. So I am raising these points so that Africa can understand. Why should a person, a general manager of a hotel, allow people who are not drinking, who are not eating, who are not to take photographs around the hotel, go to the swimming pool, go to the gym, you find them everywhere. They are talking a language you don't understand. And these are younger radicalized people who are going to kill us. This is happening in most of these places. When you ask them where they go to school or what they are doing, what business they are doing in town, they can't tell you. There are houses here where you find 30 people sleeping in one house. 30. We are not serious. The popular intelligence system must work where people must actually say, no, that house has got 30 people. A house is meant for 4 people or 20 people or your family.
We've lost you again. We've lost your audio. I don't know if it's from your part. Maybe you could touch something there. I don't know. We can't hear you.
Am I there?
All right. I think we can use the other. Maybe you could face us. The other one.
They have told me the internet is unstable. I don't know. Have I come back again?
You're back. Yeah, the one you're looking at me with. Let's use that because you had to. Connection. So let's use the second connection. You could face this side. All right, we apologize as the doctor figures out. All right, go ahead. We can hear you now.
Stephen, your name is coming up here on the system.
All right,
I don't know what we need to do. It's talking about you.
Okay, hopefully it's not a security breach, but go ahead, Doc, we can hear you now.
So, even if it is security, that's okay. We are now preaching exactly what should be done. Mm-hmm. The insecurity that is being caused in most of these African countries is that we don't check on our neighbors. We don't know who they are. We are not even able. We are not nosy. We should be nosy. Every British is nosy. If you want to know, you enter a train, someone is looking at you. If you act badly, someone will get out of the train and call the police that there are 2 boys up there who want to mug some girls. So, or they want to mug people. Police will come in, jump in. The people working in these institutions are not themselves very serious. So we have no popular type of systems. Popularity, popular intelligence is gathered. This is which helps national intelligence system and services like a NIS to gather. People, population must be able to deliver news. Even if there is no information which is useless, apart from fake information. Even fake information will be verifiable by the intelligence systems of any country. But they don't refuse information. They will take information. But the obstacles that we have here, the challenges that we have here, is that when you tell people, you call a police, and then you tell him, I have a problem here. He said, where is he? Where are they? Now, the population is not, some people are not as brave as the police would be. They will not, want to approach some of these people. Very few people here, Miriam, know what to do with such circumstances. So when you ask the person calling on the phone that where are you located, are you able to tell us how many kilometers from where you are to? Some of these things are happening in African countries. The homegrown networks, the sleeper cells, the bigger cells renting the smaller cells to operate are becoming an increasing threat to the nations in Africa. It is therefore very prudent for African countries to sit down at the moment. It's prudent for the East African security agencies to coordinate their activities because of the porous borders that we have. The porous borders right all the way from Nigeria up to here, Boko Haram, Sahel region, Chad, the Chad Peninsula, which is full of these terrorists. Then you come across to Somalia where they are, then you see the countries. Every country has got its own network, the difficulties of homegrown terror groups. The homegrown terror groups are used to instill fear. There is a video that I saw this morning. What are the causes? We don't glorify, we are not glorification of terrorism. There is no justification whatsoever. However much the conditions in any particular country are bad, there is no justification to kill. You can't come and kill and maim people. You can't kill innocent people, whether soldiers in the barracks, whether the police, whether on the road. No. So why are we standing not working on the methods that can stop violence? One of them is Nyumba Kumi in Kenya. I don't know how far that initiative has gone. The Nyumba Kumi could be telling on each other. People could be telling information. We have ourselves taken the moral approach. We have decayed. We look at money more than security. Most of these people, like the 3 guys who got out of this prison, they must have paid hefty amounts of money in order for them to live. Honestly, you can't explain to me that one brick, a person was so small can go through that brick. And there was no sand coming inside. Who was carrying the sand? No, when I looked at that thing yesterday, William, even if you look at all magic, it has become very magical even in my head that I cannot understand how people can escape when a terrorist cell is 24 high security checks. When people go in shifts, they work in shifts to check, to open the door, because some of the people could die at night. So my call and my adding a voice to the people of Africa, the people of Uganda, for example, can we have put up vigilance again. Uganda has a good, very, very good system, a good security system of LC 1 up to LC 5. The new visitors that are coming in town, in our places, in our restaurants, in our nightclubs, who are they? Where have they been? What are our neighbors doing? A neighbor carrying a pipe, a neighbor carrying a fertilizer. When you see a neighbor carrying a fertilizer when he doesn't have even a plot where to fertilize, you know he's doing something. When you see a neighbor carrying nails, a bag of nails, when he's not hammering any house or building any new house, tell the police, come out and tell the police. Let the police sort out whether the nails were for who they were being sent to the village, fine. But if you are in the city, call the police. I submit, therefore, that homegrown terrorism is on the increase in Africa. They are rented, is rented terrorism, where bigger cells rent smaller cells to operate on their behalf. In return, they get dividends. For example, we saw what President Museveni has explained yesterday, what took place in Kampala. These guys have been around for a long time, surveilling targets whom they want to kill, how to kill, when to kill. It is very, very bad. It's sad that we must actually be vigilant ourselves, and the people of every continent, every country in the continent of Africa and across in Europe, we must be vigilant. It is not only happening here. We saw it in Liverpool. A man comes, is driving the car into a whole hospital of women. Does he hate only women? A women hospital. There are not only women there, there are also men in that hospital. But it was named the Women Hospital. It's like calling Nairobi Women Hospital. It is not only for women, even the men are there. So you look at those, have we, from the inception, the start of ISIS, has ISIS spread across Africa. In Mozambique, ISIS went and created a cell. Thanks to President Kagame and his troops, they have tried to minimize and exclude and terminate some of the ISIS operatives in Cape Delgado, which was actually a very, very quiet, silent province of Mozambique. But they have managed to quell that type of insurgency. We had reports that there was an ISIS unit operating in the Congo. Where did this ISIS, who dropped it there? Whom are they fighting for? We don't have any problem here. We have not, Africa has not gone to Taliban and invaded Taliban, invaded Afghanistan. Africa has not gone to invade Iraq. Nobody in Africa went to invade Iraq. Kenyans did not go to invade Iraq. They have not done anything. They have not gone anywhere near the Gulf or Qatar. Or Kenyans go there to give their services, and the Ugandans. We give our services. Our women work there as housemaids, as house helps, because those people are very lazy. They don't do any work. They sit, even the women there in Saudi Arabia sit and wait to produce children. That's all. That's what the work they do in the Middle East because of the weather. They wait for husbands to come and they produce children. Our people go there and they work. I'm sincerely telling the truth. They are very lazy. You cannot marry an Arab woman. How will you marry and marry her to do what? To sit down and have another housework. They are not very active. They also sit as women, as men sit to smoke pipes. They are also seated there. So our people go there to do work. Our people have never gone there to kill anybody. There are no Ugandans killing people in Saudi Arabia or Doha, UAE or Dubai or where. No, we have not gone there to kill people. But why do they come to kill us? Why do they come to train people to kill us? These are some of the questions. It is like having a country sponsoring another country to go and accuse you. Then you have a diplomat in your country seated here laughing and all the time driving and going to hotels to look for your girls. You know? They are there. If you don't walk in these hotels, I'm always around there. You find all these, especially those from the Middle East who want to operate and get even the 4 or 5 women. You know, they are there looking for the most beautiful girls, and they give them. You see, if you compete with them, you can't manage, because the amount of money has blinded. Money has brought chaos. Miriam, it has brought chaos into all this. For somebody to go and kill himself, he has been promised a few shillings to kill himself. It's money. For somebody to say that the 3 prisoners disappeared, somewhere, somehow, someone has benefited and is going to build an apartment. You Kenyans like apartments. Every Kenyan who gets money is building apartments. I don't know whether you are bewitched on apartments. I don't know. I'm only asking, Miriam. Every Kenyan talks of land and apartment. So they have now made money. The 3 men have disappeared. We don't know when they are going to come to kill us. You know, it is a worry. And it is money. And above all, the leadership. One of the causes, the leadership. People whom you expected to preach without money are preaching with money. They are openly dishing out money, and they are stamping authority to say, if you don't have money in Kenya, you don't have a seat in parliament. There you are. Are we not problems over? We have created, inflicted problems that can generate, it goes back. I want to end by telling you, there are 2 classes of people in Africa. And it could extend to Europe if you want. Because there are some poor places in Europe, poorer than Africa. Like those coming from Belarus, trying to cross over to Poland in order to reach the European Union. Those are very poor people. There are 2 people. Miriam, my research has shown 2 classes. A class that sleeps hungry outside the house of those who claim to be well off. But I want to ask you one question. There are 2 classes. The houses outside. You have seen in most of these posh places. You have seen good houses, the panel. The one when you go to Karen, you see very fantastic houses. But when you walk towards Langata, you see houses going down to the standard. I want to ask my panel, do both of them sleep? Do both of them sleep well? You will answer me. The one in a good house, like a Karen, the notorious house called somewhere in Karen, where everybody has to go to be blessed. You know, if you don't go there, you are not blessed. We who have not gone there are not blessed. We are not liked. Now, do both of them sleep? The person in Kibera and the person in Karen, do both of them sleep? I want you to answer that question for me. If both of them sleep, and I don't know whether Sharon has opened her. You want to answer very fast, Sharon? Do both of them sleep?
Yes, I think the one in Kibera sleeps much peacefully than the person who is in Karen. Yes, because I believe, when the higher you go, the hotter it becomes. So if you actually live in Karen and you don't even, let's say, for example, the money that you've accumulated, is out of theft or bribery or corruption, you will never, sleep in peace, because you do not know when you're actually, people are actually going to come after you. And then also, if you look at the terrorism factor, you see that at some point, these terrorists actually tend to, target the high-end, rather posh areas. So you do not know when, or, you do not know the hour or the time that these people are going to knock at your door. So I think the person in Kibera actually sleeps peacefully. Yeah.
Hold your view. Let me hear from Wesonga, then I hand it over to Miriam to also make up whether Wesonga, the question is, do both of them, do they sleep?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Masanga David. And of course, this is a topic where we have to employ now the empirical data. And we've seen through history that a terrorist attack does not actually have a specific target. We've seen in the US, they targeted the White House, the World Trade Center, and the Pentagon. We've seen in other areas, even in the Middle East, they target where diplomats live. And these are affluent areas. Even here in Nairobi, most hotels that were targeted by the terror groups were actually where the affluent people went to eat, malls where the affluent went to shop. But also, when you go to specific areas like Uganda, you realize that these were actually not affluent people, but they targeted specifically where a majority of the people were. We saw whatever happened in 1998, in as much as the US embassy was the one targeted, but also the common folk was targeted in this particular attack. So to me, I think both of them should be worried when their security is not guaranteed.
Let's leave that one there. Let's cross over to Miriam now.
Yeah.
Do both of them sleep?
Doc, it's interesting that we could be discussing this today. Just yesterday in the evening, I was participating in another focus group, and we were looking at exactly what we're talking about right now, the security of the affluent areas and the informal settlements and what that looks like. And the common ground, what we all discussed there was that both of them don't sleep, because the rich people are afraid of their security, because if you have and the others closer to you don't have, they'll come looking from your place. And the other ones sometimes don't sleep because they have to think about what will my tomorrow be like, and because their security is not guaranteed at all in the informal settlements. Like, crime there is high, so the security there is a problem, period. And now these other ones from these other posh areas also now worry, because that insecurity will be brought to their areas. So it's interesting that we're talking about this yesterday, right now, because I had a similar conversation yesterday.
Okay. Miriam, tell Stephen that there's something there for you. Let him put it on. As he tries to put it on, Stephen, put on that clip. Sharon, Wesonga, and Miriam. I am with Miriam. They both don't sleep. I agree with Miriam. Both of them don't sleep. Have you noticed that a man in a house, go to any of these houses in Karen, do you see the house inside or you see the roof? How tall is the perimeter, the wall?
Very high and
Sharon, you better open up and talk. How tall is the wall? Look at the CCTVs. Then you go to the windows and look at the burglar-proof windows everywhere. Nobody can come in. The man in that house, if a branch of a tree falls on the house, he will wake up, pull up his gun, and even if you are not careful and you are in the house, and maybe you have gone down, there are some children who steal milk at night in the fridge. When you have double houses, you can shoot your own child because you think somebody has invaded. He said just the wind came at night and invaded your house, fell on your house on the roof. then you thought they have come for me. The person in Kibera who is hungry does not sleep. We have the class of people in Kibera, there are people who don't sleep. How do you sleep when the stomach is empty? How do you sleep when you are going to think? It's also a root cause of homegrown terrorism, which we in Africa must look at. That people like that, who look at those houses, who look at this, not because you should look at those houses, but there is a factor, Miriam, that some of them say, what happened to me? So if you find wrong elements who radicalize these guys can become suicide bombers. They come on your door, they will break it. And if you have bad politics, I want to tell you that everything in terrorism starts with the letter P. If I'm wrong, Miriam, cross-check and come tell me tomorrow. What brought terrorism in Somalia? Politics. Is there anything else? Wesong, am I wrong? Sharon, am I wrong? It's politics. Look at
very right, Doctor.
Look at all conflicts. Look at the conflict in Syria. It's politics. Look at the conflict in Iraq. It's politics. General Colin Powell, the late, said they have what are they called? Nuclear weapons. They are going to destroy the world. It's politics. But when they destroyed Iraq, they did not find any nuclear weapon. Everything in terrorism, in all conflicts across the globe, starts with the letter P. But the origin is politics. Bad politics generates bad situation, bad end, bad governance, bad economy, bad social life, bad class struggle. Am I wrong? If I have not submitted well, my lecturer should take some marks away from me. If you have bad politics, it will generate bad social manners. Society will be bad, economy will be bad, everything you touch will be bad, security will be bad. I'm telling you. So for us to come back, let's clean politics. Good politics. Yes, Miriam.
I'm just reminded with what our former, now late president used to say, siasa mbaya, maisha mbaya, and we see how that is playing out. True.
Unless Sharon has something else, because I see she's not still convinced. Sharon, are you not convinced up to this stage that the one in Kibera and the one in Karen, both of them don't
sleep.
I'm still trying to get convinced, but from how you've actually explained it, it looks like the reason as to why this one in Kibera will not sleep because of hunger, but in terms of the security, then the person that is on the suburbs is actually more likely not to ever sleep at peace because
no. Let's not. Sorry, Doc. The security in the informal settlements is the insecurity there is rife. There's a lot of alcoholism, drug abuse, and all these things. So the crime rate there is very high, even compared to other areas. So they're already dealing with a very insecure situation. So we cannot rule out that the reason why they can't sleep at night is just the lack. That is just part of it. But also the insecurity there is real. Try walking there in the middle of the night and see if you'll survive.
Yes, and Miriam, maybe just to reinforce whatever Dr. Matsanga is talking about, I think Dr. Matsanga has brought a very, very interesting topic in terms of intelligence. You realize that even for the US, Before then, it never had that notion of what Dr. Matsanga is talking about, of popular intelligence. Before the World War II, I remember reading somewhere that it never had any centralized system of intelligence where various bodies who are responsible for collecting intelligence would bring and data could be analyzed. And it was only after the Pearl Harbor assault by the Japanese submarines on the US warships that they actually came up with the FBI and the central, most importantly, the Central Intelligence Agency. And just by going by the name, it means these are central body, but where intelligence comes from all over America. Even citizens are allowed to partake in that particular expedition. And maybe just to bring it closer home, in the morning, you remember I gave you a story of how 1998 bombing of the U.S. Embassy in Nairobi happened. And it was in essence that at that particular time, the Kenya Intelligence Service warned the U.S. intelligence about a plot several months before the 7th of August. And in November 1997, of course, that year, a man named Mustafa Mahmoud Said had walked into the U.S. Embassy in Nairobi and told the American intelligence that we had a plot, the Al-Qaeda had a plot to blow up the embassy. But what did the U.S. officials do? Of course, these are common folk, just any Tom, Dick, and Harry that you'll meet in the streets of Nairobi. What did they do? They brushed it off, and maybe in a much serious note, they just tried to consult with the Mossad, which Mossad dismissed it. And after questioning Ahmed, they decided that it wasn't credible. You know, these are common folk, but you realize the target of the terror was actually a much affluent building, the U.S. Embassy. You expect to have more diplomats there and high-end government officials. And a few months after that, it happened. So that tells you that intelligence, and especially at this era where we have internet, everyone has to be part and parcel. And that is why the Kenyan government came up with Nyumba Kumi initiative, an initiative which was actually taken very fast with the Rwandan government. Why haven't we ever heard about maybe a terror attack in Rwanda? It's because perhaps the intelligence agencies are doing quite a commendable job, and more so using a brainchild of the Kenyan government and intelligence network. That is a Nyumba Kumi initiative. And you realize that if someone in Kibera overheard maybe even a hotel or maybe a mall in Gigiri wants to be bombed, he doesn't say that because I come from Kibra and Kibra is not going to be bombed, I'm not going to go to the DCI or nearest police station and report it. Or maybe someone from who lives in Runda hears that maybe a train in Kibra will be bombed and he has such important intelligence. They wouldn't just brush it off and say, that does not concern me, I do not live in Kibra. It is a collective responsibility at the end of the day. And remember, the intelligence agencies will always receive a massive amount of data. Okay, they could know we have a terror cell maybe in Isli or maybe in Pangani, but not until someone from Pangani comes and tells them we have a specific house, like Dr. Matsanga said, where we have so many people living together and we are suspicious they could be up to something sinister. And therefore, in that regard, the authorities will swing into action and be able to actually establish what is happening to this particular house. Unless that is done, Miriam, I don't think we're going to win war on terror, and I don't think our intelligence agencies will up to the task. So I strongly support Dr. Matsanga's notion of intelligence. We have to make it universal. You have to make it a popular initiative by everyone. I submit. Because, let me just give an extension a bit. You have seen in the newspapers, in Uganda, it was given, an alert was given, but no one actually seems to have bothered to take action. If the Ugandan intelligence agency would have called on citizens to watch out for people who are acting in a suspicious manner, I believe they will have caught the culprits. And that is why immediately it happened, the third individual was actually intercepted. What does that mean? It means if the same vigilance before the attack would have, after the attack would have been employed before the attack, then the three would have been intercepted. But because people never gave a damn about whatever was being said, then no one was keen enough to notice any peculiar or weird movements within these particular vicinity. I submit.
Mm-hmm. And Doc, there's a point there you gave when you were giving your submission that perhaps, we may not have, personally, I've not looked at it like that. When you're giving an example of sometimes, people go to places, these public establishments, say hotels and malls, and they're just busy. Taking photos and things like that, but they're not really there to partake in the kind of services that are being offered in these places. So in the case of hotels, because we've seen what happened at Dusit and things like that, they're prone to being, targets when it comes to these, terrorism attacks. So what can perhaps the owners or the security operators in these establishments do to ensure that, people who are there, they are monitored and the kind of activities that happen there? Because, now with the age of selfies, you really might think somebody is just taking photos and you don't know that they're actually surveying the area. And so that exposes, these public establishments to, a safety, vulnerability in terms of safety. So what can people do in these areas to ensure that maybe they just designate areas where if you want to take a selfie, only here, but there are places where you can't really be allowed to go and take photos and videos and things like that, just to ensure that, safety measures are taken care of. Is that something that maybe we should start thinking about?
Yes, Miriam. The truth is this. And you see what kills our communities is not being sincere and bold. We are not bold to these guys. 10 men about 2021, 2018, 2021, 23. 10. I'm not going to name particular nationality. They come in a hotel. You enter a hotel, they are everywhere. You want to sit on this chair, you want to sit, they are there with their girlfriends, and they have brought, the whole hotel becomes a one affair. They don't drink alcohol. All right? They are not drinking tea. They are not drinking juice. And they are busy taking photographs. I'm telling you. Because the media here is supposed to help the government. But if the media is not helping the government, what do? Our hotels have laxed their security. Our nightclubs have laxed security. Our supermarkets have laxed security. Security operatives are on camera. Our gates. You come to a hotel, a man is on the phone, is opening the gate for you to go, but he's talking on the phone. Traffic policemen are on the phone, and they have stopped the car, still on the phone. Tuambiane ukweli jameni. The policeman is still on the phone, not a radio call. He's on the phone, and he has told you to stop ahead. These are the behaviors that are, you see. That's why the man on the phone is still talking with the wife or the daughter, or there are problems at home. There's no food in the house. He will come and look at the car like this, look at this, say, enter. And that car, Miriam, has got the same people who are going to kill people ahead. That, hiyo tuambiane ukweli leo. Our hotels have become a problem, especially the big hotels. They should boost up security. The people who are not worth being there, who are not drinking, who are not taking tea, don't say you are only eating food. the food could be expensive, but call for water, which is actually 100 shillings or 150, and drink water. They don't drink water. And you find them seated like this. Another group comes, another one comes. You are seated there. You might have gone with your husband or your wife or your children. You want to take them out. They keep on asking you, Dad, who are those? Look at that. Look at it. It is really happening. And we have to be careful. Two, the laws are very clear. There are houses here where people sleep, 30 of them in a room. 30. Are they sleeping on top of each other? 30 people in a room. Are we, you tell me, I'm not telling you a lie. Corona was here. Corona is still there. We don't know where, when, how, when it could come back. God forbid, in a big scale. But we survived that. But now, after surviving Corona, we have a problem. Two, landlords who are renting properties. That is how homegrown terrorism works, Miriam. Someone comes with 200,000 Kenya shillings. Look at the amount of money the guy was giving the policeman, 180,000. For him to be told, did you hear the man who was arrested in Langata? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They have plenty of money, and it is our money. Did you know that? It is our money they get from here. And their people are here. The homegrown funders are here. Are in Uganda, are everywhere. They are the people. They have big shops, big supermarkets. They are here because someone to offer 180,000. You remember the policeman was offered 180, isn't it? For information to be given to him which nightclub operates in the Langata area. Don't you think there's somebody in Kenya who changed that money? Where do you change that money at a go? Do we get our receipts when you go and change your dollars? I'm one of those who insists on, even if I've changed the $1 Miriam, I insist on the receipt. If you don't give me the receipt, then I will not change my money. I go out. I keep all my receipts because someone could say the money that you tendered is not the real money. Then you say, I got it. Oh, yes, no, but you might have mixed it. So you give me the receipt. How many Forex bureaus today? So, how many Forex bureaus today give out receipts? Check on the money that is being transferred. How many? If our leaders are even advocating money. So money has become a factor here. And we have forgotten that security is the most important. Without security, you can't eat that money. So to raise the question of Sharon, our sister Sharon, to get convinced today, I want to tell you, the person in Kibera, even if you have eaten the best sausage in Karen, but you are not secure. You know that you are, even if your stomach is full like here, and you sleep in Karen, and something drops on the wall, you will wake up, and you will not go back to sleep. So both of them don't sleep. because of inequalities, a lot of inequality, lack of equity, distribution, lack of facilities. The word, remember, is P, politics. Politics brings the product of all the things, the wars we see here. There was politics around Muammar Gaddafi. Wasn't he pumping water from Mediterranean Sea for his people? Were people not having clean water in Tripoli, Benghazi, and other cities? Was he not changing the desert into some productive work? Politics killed him. So let's look at those areas and find out how best we can help popularize popular initiative of intelligence, popular intelligence gathered by people, by Miriam. When you enter, I liked Miriam during the Corona days. She could go to a supermarket and stand and see the guards are not wearing the supermarket. And she told us that one day she told them, but surely you are allowing everybody to go without masks. You know, how many of you do that? How many of you? Stephen can testify, our manager. We were driving towards Nakuru. Another driver was driving, passing, just hey. I said, okay, I got the number. I got the number plate. Luckily enough, he reached ahead. And there were many cars. I now reached it. There was a roadblock ahead. I passed and I told the police that this car behind me, 2-3 cars behind me, the man has been driving very badly. And these are the pictures I've taken while he was just narrowly taking. And I did not leave that police station, police roadblock. I did not leave. Miriam, look at my eyes. I did not leave. I stood there. So the car came. I said, this is the guy. You see the way you have been driving. You know, with my weight, when I came out, even the driver started shaking. He knew now the days are numbered. The policeman sergeant was with me, agreed with me. Mzee, letter license, yako. Well, all the passengers. There were 7. There were 14 passengers. 7 people were very happy with me. They even looked at it and said, oh, doctor, thank you, this is the guy. Another 5 people were not happy. You are wasting our time. So one of them, I told him, wasting time, that if this car goes on driving like this, I will pass you, you will be asking for help for me to rescue you. So that is one of the initiatives to cut down accidents. If you see somebody driving so fast, and Wesonga, you are one of those on the road all the time with your Mercedes. You know you have, Wesonga, can you open up and I tell you why? Because you have a very nice car. I'm not telling the taximan to come for you, but you have got a very nice car. It is a Mercedes. So why are you driving fast? No, tell me, why are you driving fast? Why do you drive very fast? You have got your wife in the car. You have a destination where you are going. Eh? And you know, is the bed where you are going running away? No, I'm asking, is the bed where you are going running away? If that bed is running away, and you are needed in Nakuru by 12 o'clock, why don't you start at 6 and drive like a Matanga? 40 kilometers per hour. And I arrive Nakuru at about 9 o'clock, 9:20 or 10 o'clock. Relax, have my breakfast in America Hotel. Relax, wash, shower, go for the meeting at 12. You who rushed, you might be in Chikope. They are taking ambulance. I'm honest. That's what I do. If you drive the car very fast, I leave. I tell you to stop, I will go away. Because what is it that this is part of popular initiative, popular intelligence. What is the use of you driving so fast, Miriam, when you have everything in the car? Wesonga cannot explain to me. Hata kama uko na mpango ya kando, uko naye kwa gari. Why are you driving fast? Wewe mwenye mpango ya kando, who is seated in the car, why don't you tell the man that, my friend, you have me today? Why are you driving fast? You are only going to Oneshipai for a weekend that unataka kuonesha watu kwa barabara huko na mpango ya kando. Sharon, any comment? I am bringing a sense of humor here. You have been taken for a weekend. Why should somebody drive fast? The bed is there. The food is there. The breakfast will be ready tomorrow. Very nice. It's like entering one bus. All of you will get to the destination. Even if you run fast, the bus will all drop you in the same destination, a different destination at your time.
Yes.
That's why London buses have timing. And Wesonga, because you have a Mercedes, people have already seen it. Why are you driving fast? To cause what? Okay, Sharon.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Matsanga. And I just remembered in the morning, I actually raised the issue about the security apparatus and the mechanisms on how they actually used to get their way there, because more times I've walked into even malls or even in a building, and you actually find either the security personnel is either on phone or they're not even there. And even if they are there, actually when they use their, I think they're called Garrett, the scanners, sometimes they don't even alarm or they just let you tell you to just walk in, and you're left wondering, I mean, do they even know that, the role that they actually place there is such a critical and vital role to actually oversee security, even especially in malls and, these other buildings and even in hotels at large. So there's actually the laxity of, just like you've put it, the laxity in our security personnel. And that begs the question of how do they even find their way there? Do they just bribe their way there? And, they just get reluctant because they know at the end of the day there's nowhere that you can actually take them. So there's a high need of harnessing a mechanism of intelligence and a popular the intelligence of popularism, just like you've called it, in each and every institution. And then I think now at the end of it all, I am looking at, even as the U.S. Secretary is actually in Kenya, probably we could actually use that opportunity to actually engage about the region security, about the security in our region, not just in Kenya, even in other countries. I also look at Kenya, sitting at the UNSS. They could also use that, opportunity to actually ensure that there is a coherent way to actually clamor the destabilization that we've been having in the country. So these are some of the opportunities that we could actually use to have, a national conversation on how we could actually clamor, the current destabilization that we've been having. And then to come back to the issue of what happened in our in our own, maximum prisons. And I was actually wondering, why were these convicts actually placed in one room? Because you actually understand, once they are placed together, it becomes so easy for them to actually scheme and plot for such acts that we've been seeing. And I think there's actually a problem in our prisons. I remember the issue of Master Wanjala. People actually questioned, why was he in a police custody when this is someone that has actually gone through the court systems and actually found guilty? Why was he in just a normal police custody? So I think there's also a problem with our own in our own prisons. Yeah. So just like you've talked about our homegrown terrorism, I think the popularism intelligence would actually go a long way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sharon. I think, Miriam, unless there's anybody else or you want to make a comment, let's listen to that clip as we call it today. It's a very short clip. Is it ready,
yes.
Stephen?
Yes, the clip is ready.
Yeah, let's listen to it. It will make sense for Sharon, especially. You will get the difference why we are arguing. This MP from Uganda is arguing this case. He says, you will see for yourselves.
In Uganda, the poor do not sleep because they are hungry. You can't sleep when your stomach is empty. Have you ever attempted to sleep when you are hungry? The sleep doesn't come. So in Uganda, the poor don't sleep because they are hungry, and the rich are no longer sleeping because the poor are awake. So we are having a country now where all of us are no longer sleeping. These days, whoever gets some money, like you, the chairpersons of districts, you have some money. You have built a nice house. Whoever builds a nice house now builds a very tall wall called the perimeter fence around the house. On top of the perimeter, someone has told us this wall you see there. You can't even see the house. It's a beautiful house, but somebody has hidden it in a wall. On top of the wall, we put wires. On the wires, we put electricity. And a certain word somewhere, danger. You touch, you die. Then you put CCTV camera. You rear dogs. German Shepherd, big, like 4. You buy a big gate with a chain. And in the house, you put burglary proof on every inlet. Windows, ventilators, doors, everywhere there is burglary proof. You have a askari. If you are unprivileged like some of us, the askari has a bow and arrow. Those who are privileged, like some of you, the Honorable Speaker, they have a gun. But still, with that detail, you feel unsafe, insecure. Somewhere around 2 a.m., as you are trying to sleep, after a long day of meetings and so on, a storm comes, blows, and one of the branches on the tree drops on the house. You jump to check in the curtains. Who's coming? You realize it is a storm. You go back. As you are pulling the blanket on yourself, now around 3, one of the dogs knocks on the car and the alarm goes off. Then you jump out to see who's touching my car. You realize it is your dog playing. By the time you go to sleep, after running around your own house, it is now 5 a.m. and you expected in office at 7. So you see leaders come and they have a lot of sleep on themselves. They are not sleeping. So the poor don't sleep because they are hungry, and the rich do not sleep because the poor are awake.
I don't know if you're convinced after listening to that member of parliament. Well, Doc. Doc, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, viewers across the planet and the globe. I want to thank you all for having participated in this dialogue. And thank you very much. Sharon, I think you have now been convinced that a man in a house who has not eaten is equivalent to the person who has a powerful house in Karen and he has not eaten. And he has eaten fully, enough food. Both of them are insecure. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless Africa. Thank you. Analyst, Miriam, there you are. The clip is there. Take it to your group and and show them that MP from Uganda is very courageous. It is also part of the homegrown terrorism act that we see. So thank you.
All right, bye-bye. We'll see you later.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.